Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iGPFun-F3 series presented by Virtual Racing School here at the beautiful Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Marco Barbonera, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV. Marco, it's another Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for some 60-car action here on Apex Racing TV. It's the iGPFun-F3 series, and how are you feeling about this?
Excited is an understatement, Austin. You know, it's tough to get awesome racing around this place, even with these cars, but if there is one series that can do it, it's the iGPFun series, Austin. So I'm absolutely ecstatic and cannot wait, honestly, to get the show running, as the drivers are also absolutely eager to get it started, because we are already in the final few moments of qualifying, and as you can see there at the top, as per usual, it's a very close battle for everyone.
Yeah, very close battle. Alex Dunn back in the series after missing legs last week. Gianfranco Pagodo sitting in second with Flavio Dantas in third, and in fourth, Martu. Well, just the top four drivers all within 2/10 of each other. And then when you look down the grid, all the way down to 25th place, they're all within a second of Alex Dunn. So it is a very tight field. Everybody knows this track backwards and forwards. They've raced here so many times on either different sims, or they just seen so much stuff about this track, and it's probably one of the most recognizable and most raced tracks in all of sim racing, even going into arcade racing. This track has seen it all, and so everyone has their own experience with it.
Absolutely, Austin. It is one of those tracks that nowadays is basically made its way into every kind of sim that you can name. And so, of course, iRacing has jumped 1 year ago, I think it was, 1 year and a half ago.
Yes.
We got the racetrack, and it's been, you know, the community has long been clamoring for more Grade A tracks from FIA Grade 1, and I think this has been a mainstay in many series. We are racing the Grand Prix layout, of course. So the one that you see every year in F1 competition, exactly. Pagotto,
and the one that's also the most complained about every year.
Yeah, of course. People rightfully so blame it on the fact that it's the track used for testing, so the teams have tons of data available, but I also think that it's because every major passing spot of the track is preceded by a long sweeping corner, which puts the cars that rely a lot on aerodynamics in big trouble, because you cannot follow one big, for example, the final corner. No, you have the longest straight, if I'm not mistaken, of the calendar. I think apart from Baku, which was not on the calendar last year, of course, and still the cars cannot pass each other at the braking area. Also, considering that the braking area there, the first chicane, is not really a hard braking area, so it's like the worst of both worlds, basically. You cannot follow getting into the straight, and then you don't have to brake a lot. But, you know, with these little F3 cars, yes, they rely on aerodynamics, but of course not nearly as much as the F1 cars. Plus, we have, as you were saying earlier, we have 60 of them on the track, so there's bound to be some excitement somewhere, and especially if you take a look at how close, I mean, the top 25 are within 1 second, Austin. This is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's actually more than 25 now. I'm looking down at our timing sheet. It's now 28.
Perfect. I mean, let's see.
28 cars within a second of each other. Just
yeah,
nuts.
I mean, yeah, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And as you can see, we are past the checkered flag. So, to look for today? Well, we had a chat with Luca Varani before the race, and he told us that two drivers to keep an eye on: Ben White, who's third in the sub 3000 standings, and Will McIntyre, who's second in the sub 2000 standings. So these are going to be the two drivers we're going to keep an eye on for today. And also we've had official confirmations that the crash that we had last week in Donington Park, if you remember it, also on the start-finish line, it was
How can you not remember it?
it was due to hardware failure. So, but you know, apart from that, the statistics are 6, you know, major crashes in the season so far, and we have turned 1,541 laps. Hope you like the American way of saying it there, Austin. So, I mean, that's a very, very good average, and the driving standards are getting, you know, closer and closer to what they were. I mean, many series will give a kidney to have this kind of driving standards, and of course.
Oh yeah.
And this is not at their best, so I mean, going back to their best, it's going to be even better, as you can see. Russell Saputo with his beautiful livery coming home. Francesco Meola.
I love that.
Trying to improve, goes to the pits. And we don't have a lot of drivers on the track yet. Zach Bison. Adam Talsma also is running around. Let's see the weather quickly before we get kicked away
the weather
from the session.
in the sky right now, 27 degrees in the air. We got a high dew point of 1,014 HPA. 39% humidity. Is actually very dry being this close to the Mediterranean Sea. Partly cloudy, and track temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. So the sky and the track very nice here on February 1st, 2021. Just a few hours after 2:30 in the afternoon. Here is our result. Alex Dunn takes pole ahead of Gianfranco Pagotto, Flavio Dantes, and Thiago Martiu in fourth, followed by Francesco Meola, Max Bartola, Samuel Hermer, Luca Ferrari, Premslav Peniznek, Michael Podozek, Victor Barris, Gavin Petty, Bartosz Grzyszewski, Max Giacchino, Sonny Rosario, Lucas Maruk, Andrea Brichetti, and Will McIntyre in 18th, followed by Luciano Lorenzo, Stuart Millen, Russell Saputo, Zachary Beeson, Dave Martin, Rod McGuire, Andy Flint, Darryl Governor, Vincenzo Cardetti, Alessandro Dalladare, that's a familiar name, in 28th, Daniel Jiu-Jitsu in 29th, JJ Gonzalez, followed by Zoltan Zamoter, James Luis, Ben White, Martin Devine, Antonio Tellez, Clark Williams, Mark Mathis, Adam Talsma, Clemens Pudzig, Gruber, Sean Barrett, Chris Trott, Steve Rubens, Fernando Corres, Giovanna Stiletto, Johan Bergeson, Antonio Rzewski, Chuck Morrow, and Alex Hopkins in 48th place. Starting 49th, Rodrigo Capoletto, Lucas Lackner, Richard Veen, Koji Ido, Patrick Rollins, Reed Dennis, Wolfgang Lauder, Ed Dorothy, Thomas Pruitt, and Phil Waller in 58th. And then in the final row, Alexander Rogenbuck and Mikey Olsen in 60th spot. The only driver without of time. Well, it is about that time. 60 cars lined up all the way to the final corner. 5 red lights are on, and let's go racing here in Catalunya. And what a start from Dantes, immediately on the back wheel of Gianfranco Pagotto, as we're having a side-by-side fight immediately heading into turn 1. We got cars in the gravel at the back of this grid. Gianfranco Pagotto stays on the inside. Dantes backs off as Alex Dunn takes turns 1 and 2 with confidence right now ahead of this 60-car field. Lorenzo and Maruk. Maruk making up a lot of spots down the inside.
Austin, I saw like a front wing fly in the air from behind the curve of the asphalt at the start, so something must have happened back there. But I see every driver apart from Patrick Rowlands, Ed Doherty, and Mikey Olson still on the track, so maybe a little bit of contact, but nothing more.
There might have been a slow car on the start. I did see a car in the gravel before the main grandstand at the start-finishing line. I think that's where the wing might have came from, as the drivers up at front are continuing to be single file, but everything other than that is going crazy as Ben White is spun around.
One of our drivers of the day, Ben White, is already in massive trouble as okay, there's more drama in front of him, coming into the back straight as we go on the start finish line, as we have here Carchedi, with that Flavio Dantas going wide. There's Daledonne coming through as well, with Andy Flint going down the hill. It's all happening, but after one lap the status quo remains the same, at the very least for the first 2 spots. And look at that, already getting a bit of a gap is Alex Dunn and Pagotto over Marteau
like
and the rest of the pack.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I feel like the chicane might have killed a few people this lap. Because the entire bottom 20th down in our screens just went straight up red. But look at Alex Dunn and Gianfranco Pagotto nose to tail right now, and we might have a good old fight on our hands. It's very easy to follow here, but can Pagotto make that pass on Alex Dunn, who's just been dominant in every race that he's been in? Unless there is a little small mistake, then sometimes it goes a little bit south for Alex. But other than that one race at Nürburgring, nobody seems to top him. Let's see if today might be the day. Looking down through the pack right now, that's Goseski and Petty nose to tail of each other.
Oh, Marteau is around from third place.
Thiago was... Oh, he's stuck there. He needs to watch out when he comes back on track. This seems like a good spot to do it, so he goes back down to the bottom of the track to let everyone around the outside, as there's Dantas just using his speed around the outside. There was a random cone just standing straight up in the middle of the track. You want to watch out for those. It's Will McIntyre.
Yeah, another one of our
42nd.
Another one of our drivers of the day. He lost 24 spots. So our two drivers of the day, one is in the pits with the car destroyed, and the other has lost 24 positions. Austin, not good today for the drivers of the day, but
I feel like the times that we've had a driver of the day, either they've not finished the race or they've had a very bad start. So statistically speaking, I don't think you want to be a driver of the day. It's very nice to get your car out there, but it's just
Oh, Luca Varani and Gradecki. Let me bring out the relative, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's Bartosz Goseski looking on Luca Varani, and Luca holding down that inside line as you get a good shot of his sponsor on that rear wing, as Bartosz looking around that outside. And now he's going to try to look down the inside. He's got a good run heading into this hairpin. It's not really much of a hairpin. It's a heck of an easy move down the inside for Bartosz Goseski into 9th place.
Good stuff there from Bartosz, and now Gary Petty is looking aggressive as well in the rear view mirror of Luca, and also Max Giacchino is coming through as well. Lucas Maluca and Sonny Rosario, the two Canadians, as they kill some cones. Thankfully they're not collidable anymore after half a second, so yeah, but of course there is a no, Rosario,
that's Rosario.
Oh, and he gets clipped.
That's probably the worst feeling. That's directly off the exiting curve.
He needs to alt F4. That's
get out there.
Awful position.
He needs to get out there. That's the bad spot. That's a bad spot. That's a bad. Oh, there he goes. Oh, that is the scariest spot to be. He's right on the exit line, right where that curb is. And if you've hit that curb in practice, either you're going over it, you're being carried along it, or B, you're being sent off wide. And so it's right at that point where drivers just finally start turning in and finally start fighting that oversteer and understeer that they come out of that corner. And it's so difficult. And you just, oh no! Bruschetti and Dantas out in the wall. And that wall, very famous in F1 testing, where actually no, that's not the final corner. It looks like the final corner, but no, coming onto the back straight, those two just came on with each other, and oh, that's just unfortunate.
I don't know what it is with Flavio and Felipe, the two Dantas and Italian drivers coming together, but we had that happen for the last four weeks, both in the official series and the iGPFun series. It's like there is a magnet, you know, between Italy and Brazil on the track.
I don't know. They both want the primary color of green in their flag, and they don't have enough green to share. So,
Maguire with an issue, unfortunately.
Oh no.
He was in a good
like
spot.
A single car spin.
Oh, dear me, Austin. Oh, Meola from third place.
Francesco Meola, who was sitting in third place, practice self-spinning in the chicane. It's so easy to do. Too much mustard right there. Big lockup on the entrance. And, well, thankfully that has all the runoff in the world to get back out there. As we ride on board with Victor VRS heading in a battle with Przemysław Piznak. And you can already hear the understeer, the dirtier effect in that car as he was coming out of that corner. You can see he had a big wiggle right there. And just a dirtier upset of that car a lot, as I believe that's traffic ahead of him.
Well, there's only one way to know it.
Dots of death?
Yeah, there is some traffic.
Yeah, that's yeah, there goes one car down the inside, and now Barris is behind Piesnak, and I don't... Is that Max Bartol? That is not... That is Max Bartol.
Bartolotta is here.
That is not. Yeah, that was not Max. That was another lapped car. As they're all diving around the track, and this is going to be very feisty in that battle for 4th place behind them, as that lapped car is still not getting out of the way. As off the track into the gravel they go.
I have to say, Przemysław Piznak in the last few races has been together with Potoczek and Grelecki, which, if I'm not mistaken, they're all from Poland. Oh man, what a jinx.
Oh.
Poor Bartosz, I jinxed him on the spot, unfortunately. He lost a couple of positions, and now Barris is going past Piznak, so maybe I should have stayed, you know, I will put this on myself, unfortunately, so sorry. But they are having very, very good performances, you know, race in and race out, but now let's be concentrated on the flying duck of Samuel Hermer.
Well, very late defense by Przemysław. Samuel was looking down the inside. The Przemysław covered him off right there. Also looking down the inside. And here comes Samuel Hermer, the duck, aligned with him, trying to swing it around the outside. Very difficult to do it around this corner, but is going to get a great run of it to this next turn. Almost getting pushed around the track. He's going to look down the inside into this hard break zone. The duck sending quackers down in there. Samuel Hermer up into 5th place.
The real mighty duck of sports, we should say, no?
As a Vegas hockey fan, I must say I enjoyed roast duck last night, and Samuel Hermer not going to be a roast duck, as he's flying right now through this field. Up 7 spots.
Martin goes past Grelecki. Martin goes back past Grelecki. And Martin goes past Grelecki again, maybe on the inside, but I think the Polish driver... Oh, what happened to Barris?
He's the speed. Oh, Barris chicanes. Just too much mustard through there. Just has to serve that slowdown.
I think he went straight on Austin.
Yeah. Might have been going side by side and try to beat somebody into the... oh, there's a spin in front of him. It was completely blocked.
The
chicane was completely blocked, and then he spun off the exit.
That was Rosario.
Oh my goodness. And now Hermer looking for 4th place. Piesnak looking down the inside. This is a familiar sight. We've seen as there is famous contact here in 2016. Hermer up into 4th.
Oh dear.
And Hermer's off in the gravel. And oh, he was actually hit. Piesnak actually hit Hermer. Look at the rear wing of that car.
Let's see the rear wing of...
Evidence that it was a hit. Evidence that was definitely hit from behind.
I'm afraid you are correct. Well, there's only one way to know it.
Yeah, I think Przemysław might have hit him going into that corner. Bang.
Yep. And with
That's
no mandatory stops,
that's
going to be a struggle for Samuel. He needs to decide if he wants to bite the bullet and go and change the rear wing, or if he wants to try to survive for the next 20 laps. You know, you remember...
Downforce is so key here. I would say he has to go pit, and that's what he's doing right now.
I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, Felipe Massa did the second half of the race with a broken front wing, and he was lapping half a second faster. the Ferrari were particularly bad that year, and if you remember, his race engineer said, no, Massa said, guys, I think we found the solution.
I was watching some classic Felipe Massa races, specifically around Hungaroring, but that is a very classic Ferrari moment. For the wrong reason.
Pagotto fastest lap of the race, huh?
Yeah. 7/10 behind Alex Dunn. That's kind of the sweet spot where you want to be. You are getting some dirty air, but down the straights, it's just so good back there. Just being pulled along, and Alex, he's got some lap scars in front of him, so this might be hard for him to start pulling away from Pagotto. But Pagotto needs to get closer to Dunn if he wants a shot at this. But remember, 28 laps in this race, 20 laps to go. You got some time to work with here. It's not immediately go for the lead. Sometimes you want to play the long game, but the longer you're behind a car here in a track where dirty air is affecting you, the more your tires are going to be struggling at the end of this race.
Giacchino leading the way in front of the most beautiful car of the grid. By far, I would say.
I'm detecting some bias in there.
But of course, I'm the sponsor of the car, therefore I need to say nice things, no?
Well, Luca, well, you better get your sponsor wallet out. He's going to make you earn your money right here. Going down the inside, drag racing across the line and underneath the Catalunya side by side they go, heading into turn one. Luca Ferrari, Max Giacchino, side by side. Luca sends it down low, and Luca Ferrari up to 9th place. Started at 8th, dropped a few spots off that start, but he's moving on back up. Now next car ahead of him is Petty, but he's got to watch in his mirrors because Max, I think, wants a little bit fight back, but he's got to also watch out for Lucas Baruch, and Marteo is back driving again.
Yeah, Marteo was really, I mean, he was perfectly in the fight for the podium, and then he had the off track, of course, and then he slightly clipped the car that was, I think it was Rosario that was sitting behind, pointing the wrong direction, the left-hander down the hill. Oh God.
Alessandro Daldoni and JJ Gonzalez making contact coming out of the long right-hander. And this is not a debut that Alessandro Daldoni wants. I know we commented together. Am I allowed to just give him a little bit of stick? Actually, no, he's completely not at fault for that.
What a jabroni. What a jabroni, this guy, this Dalle Donne. How can you lose the car there? Come on, man.
You had all the rights to do that.
Very sorry for JJ Gonzalez, innocent victim. I think he should sue Alessandro for for destroying his race car.
Oh, and Lucas
These
Baruch.
guys, I mean, these 4 guys, Austin, have been fighting for the past 5 laps, and you know, we have 4 very fast drivers. Max is a newcomer to the series. I think it is his 2nd or 3rd race this season. Also, Thiago Martó is very new, but also very quick. Again, he was fighting for the podium before his mistake, and he wants to go back to those high positions. I mean, even though, I mean, this is the fight for 9th in a 60 car
this
field.
is a good opportunity for Thiago. Looking down the inside, he got a good opportunity on a switchback, but just a slow runner of a corner, and it's just hard to get that right angle right there. As Thiago looking on Marut, trying to get back into the top 10, getting a good run, going way off the track right there.
That will kill your exit speed, unfortunately, but he's still, you know, making that move. And oh, he goes for it!
There was a lockup by Lucas Baruch. He found the opportunity, and Thiago went down the inside.
I was not expecting that, Austin.
Well, I don't think we were expecting Lucas Maruk to make that mistake off corner on the braking zone. There's smoke up ahead in the chicane. That's Podozek spun around.
So I've jinxed all three of them. Pianicek, I jinxed Grzeczki, and I jinxed Potoszek.
I hope they don't find you after this race.
Beautiful country of Poland.
Yeah, side by side. These two lap cars. There is a. Actually, no. All these. I thought that was Tiago. They both have the blue car for me. But Fernando Corres and Ron McGuire side by side through the chicane as they're entering that. They're still going out nose to gearbox right now. And look at Ron McGuire down the inside. Got a good run, but it's not going to work out for him as he doesn't have the exit speed to carry on. But they're still going to be side by side. And he's now got a nose ahead. And heading into turn 1, are we going to be seeing a send from the outside? And look at Martin Devine. Look at Phil Waller. There's a big send by Phil Waller. Trying to stay ahead of Martin Devine. And he goes wide as Martin goes up into 27th now. And he's looking out for Fernando Corres as Rob McGuire stays in 25th.
Austin, I knew these guys were going to provide us with some great excitement despite the not so exciting racetrack. And thankfully, once again, as per usual, I'm never wrong. Oh, no.
And in the exact same corner where Alessandro Dalladone went off, I just got a radio transmission from him. Quote, I think somebody put some mustard in that corner. And I'm going to be honest, I think he's actually right because a lot of drivers are going off right there.
I mean, more than he didn't run out of mustard, he ran out of talent, I think.
You know, the joke was there. As Victor Barris and Gavin Petty going side by side, heading to turn 1 to send down low for Gavin, and Gavin is going to get sixth place, and we're seeing more overtakes here than we've seen in all the, I would say, the last 3 years of F1 races here at Catalunya.
And let's not forget that we still have a great fight for the lead, 0.8 of a second separating the two leaders. They are studying each other, as we like to say here in soccer, in the opening minutes when two teams are very well balanced, but they are not, pushing the envelope too much. But Alex Dunn knows that a single mistake can ruin his race. So the pressure must be incredible, and the pressure that Pagotto, of course, has to try to keep up with the super quick Irishman. So, I mean, it's a very, very, very interesting race, and it's going to be absolutely exciting to see how things will develop from now until the end of the race as we go once again below the starting lights.
Don't smack that sausage curve hard.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of speed.
And if you hit those curves,
and it's just small mistakes like that.
Exactly.
That are going to be hurting Alex Dunn.
Especially the curbs, Austin. I mean, those yellow thingies there, they can, at the very least, make you lose your balance, but they can also quite easily break your suspension clean off in this car, so you need to be super careful.
Yeah, I remember hitting one of those curves when I raced to Skip Barbers all the time. I've actually seen a curb actually barrel roll Skip Barber, which was entertaining for me because I was behind him. As Vincenzo Gardecci and Bartosz Grzycki battling it out for 29th. These two guys still nose to tail with each other. They got a giant crew behind them. So we got a battle for 22nd. Alex Hopkins, and here comes Will McIntyre, driver of the day, looking down low. Side by side they go. Going to be a line for turn 1. Will McIntyre, easy move down low. He's up into 22nd.
And he's now, remember, he was minus 24 when we last checked on him. Now he's minus 4. So he's trying to get back to where he was. Another driver of the day. Oh no, what happened here? I saw someone flash in red. Where is Ben White?
I think Kardashian just...
there he is, Ben White.
41st.
Got his fast repair. He's the last car on the lead lap. And is that Alex Dunn behind him? Oh yeah, there he is.
It is.
And you know, Austin...
7/10 now.
From a one-back marker to another, at least in sim, of course in real life you would, do 10 laps while I do one. how tough it is mentally when you know that the two leaders, they're battling, they are coming, and you are a lapped car. What is the mentality there? I'm always very scared when that happens.
In real life, I never actually had
real
the
life,
opportunity to be a back marker, but in real life, I'm freaking out half the time.
Yeah, I mean, I said, you know, in real life, you were a fantastic driver in your time, so I'm sure you were never lapped, but in sim, we are both, we have had something bad happen.
Oh, no. Oh, that's Mathis and Trot. And that's coming into the hard braking zone.
He lost
It
everything.
was a massive collision.
He lost the engine cover, the rear wing, the air intake coverage. Yeah, this is a proper Formula fault.
Yeah, Formula V more like it.
Formula V, oh wow, yeah. Formula V, which I think are Volkswagen Beetles without the...
Yes, they are Volkswagen Beetles. That's what the V is.
Oh, of course. Oh, wow, how did I never figure that out?
Well, it's actually VEE, but the V is for Volkswagen.
Yeah. Look at that Pagotto, slowly but surely. Now he's going to lose time, of course, because I said it in this lap. Of course, but he has been putting in some good laps as of late. The balance between these two drivers is incredible. I mean, they are lapping almost identical for the entirety of the race.
Alex Dunn takes a lot of curb coming out of turn 1. Nearly crossed the entire track to cut corner 2. And you see that in F1 a lot, but like that lap specifically right there is a little bit too much, and I think that slowed him down a bit as here comes Pagotto. It's getting closer and closer now, but I remember in Nürburgring when he was trying to get back up into the lead, he was using every trick in the book to get up there.
You know, as they say, the rules are there to be tested, no?
Yes.
Or as someone else said, I'm not trying to break the rules, I'm just testing the elasticity.
Is that a Smokey who said that?
No, I remember reading that quote on a baseball book, but you know, possibly it's a widespread quote.
Yeah, I know the most famous of motorsports rules bender is Smokey.
But I mean, he didn't just test the elasticity of the rules. He basically stretched the rules, you know.
Yes.
To the point where if he didn't break, it was a miracle.
Oh, Pagotto just lost an entire 10th through the last sector right there. Small mistake by him, and yeah, it's just very unfortunate for Gianfranco as he loses more time. Just barely enough, but
he would have gained that without that mistake.
Oh yeah, definitely. He was on fire, and oh, there's a wiggle for Dunn. As soon as we switched away, Alex Dunn has had a big wiggle, and he's lost 0.4 of a second, and now Gianfranco Pagotto, he's gained all that time he's lost, which really wasn't a lot now, but now Gianfranco might have a chance in that second part as Gavin Petty and Prenzal Piesnak are side by side. Gavin Petty down low and on the straight jumps up into 5th place. Key Tiago is up into 8th after passing Luca Ferrari for 8th place now. And look at that, Gavin Petty still holding it ahead of Prenzal. But Prenzal definitely looking to make that move back on Gavin Petty. He might be looking for that second straight or maybe that switchback move. Luca Ferrari on Key Tiago in 8th place, and Tiago's just on fire in the speed department. But after that earlier spin, do you think he's going to have a little bit lax preparation going through the field? I think he's a little bit more prepared than ever. He just got to watch out for some of these off tracks to not get caught out, especially in this corner where it has that hump mid corner and you can go flying off, and this is not what you don't want to see if you're looking for Ferrari. 2 laps cars ahead of you, heading into the slowest part of the track, the chicane, and it's going to be like hitting a traffic stop right here for him as Gianfranco Pagotto is right on his money. Now, this is what you do want to see if you're done right now. He's getting a good toe down the straight. He's getting 2 sectors on Gianfranco Pagotto. He's flying down the front straight. Look at Ferrari's off the track.
Yeah, he's in the rally cross section.
Yep, actually rendered not officially there. until farther in this year, and that's just too much mustard coming off the coming out of the corner.
See if he had a little bit of help there, but no, it was the last car of the train.
No, it was just too much. Hit the curb on the inside, hit the curb on the outside. Around he went. And it's easy to lose all the mustard right there if you go onto the outside and routing those curves. Gavin Petty and Piesnak side by side through turn 1. Piesnak trying to hold it down the inside, trying to send it. He does make it work out there. And he had to work for it through the S's, but look behind Gavin Petty. Thiago is on his gearbox now.
We are getting quite the queue, Austin.
It's looking like a karting exhibition right now with these 4 guys. Which I must say, those brings back a lot of memories. And let's ride on board of Victor Barres at the back of this queue. Look at Thiago already looking down the inside, trying to get into the mirrors in the mind of Gavin Petty in this fight for 5th place. And once again, Thiago looking down low, trying to find up and trying to get some momentum mentally. And he likes playing some mind games. I can see that. And this is one of the mind games that I was very fond of when I used to race in cars with mirrors. Go down the inside, and oh, he's made a mistake. Thiago hauled up onto the inside. Veras looked down to the inside, but going to that tough left-right corner, it's very tight through there. And it's kind of got a one line. So Veras thoughtfully lifted off and let Thiago by, because Thiago, I wouldn't really assume, would be one of them to lift off, and avoided a 2-car mistake and kept them both in the race by lifting off right there. But this mind game trick is you're always getting in the mirror. Always getting in the mirror right before the brake zone. Trying to make them start driving with their mirrors and hope that they will brake and completely miss their braking point and give you an advantage going into that corner. And if you do that over time, you're going to start annoying the driver and make them a little bit more aggressive. And I've seen that work so many times. And we got a collision. Max Giacchino off into the wall and hard into it, and removing an entire wing and a wheel from his car.
I think there was a bit of netcode, but
a lot of netcode.
That was from looking
there was
from
so
behind,
much
from
net.
below. Let's see from above, but oh yeah,
so much netcode. You could put a Sunday on there, then whipped cream would still be floating.
Now you're making me very hungry.
It's Sunday. It's what I do. Another fight down the straight. Giovanni Saletto and James Luis side by side. James getting a good run down low. They're going to be very close to each other on corner entry. Giovanni actually backed off going into there. He could have held it, and it's a new fastest lap of the race for Alex Dunn.
And Pagotto was like, with his personal best, 61 1,000 of a second slower. Incredible. This is a top-notch quality racing.
I believe Alex had a little bit of help with a tow down one of the streets to give him that time, because Pagotto was right there with him. Pagotto's also getting a tow, but those 2 guys are, beyond a doubt, some of the fastest F3 drivers in all of iRacing. And Gavin Petty looking down low on Premslaw, sneaks his way up there, back into 5th place. And Thiago, he's trying some alternate lines right there, trying to get a good switchback opportunity on Premslaw. And Barcelona is very good in that opening sector, because you could try out some different lines if there's a battle heading out in front of you. You could go a little bit wide in one corner, take that next corner a little bit tighter, give you a good run for this exit, to give you a good run for this entry. And the more you do that, the more of this track you can find out without losing a lot of time. Premslaw looked down the inside of that corner, but that outside line just has the speed right there. And we see Thiago make that move work actually by going around the outside of corner entry, then swinging back to the inside on corner exit. And he had a great run up heading into that braking zone, as Gavin Petty still stays ahead of Premslaw. Looking down the inside. Once again, Thiago just dancing in the mirrors. And I think he's making Premslaw just a little bit nervous with how close Thiago's getting in each corner. And Victor Barres, I think Victor's a dark horse in this situation. He's seeing where Thiago's going in each corner. And Thiago's not careful. Barres is going to strike without him knowing. And we got a mistake. Gavin Petty misses braking cue, and he's off. The chicane strikes again.
Oh, we see the replay later because we have a pass. Oh, there we go.
And here comes Thiago on Premslaw. Thiago going up for 5th place, and he's got it.
Great comeback. Now -1 from his starting position. Now Meola is 7 seconds ahead, so that is going to be a bit difficult without some, an act of God. Hitting Meola's car or Bartolotto or Pagotto down, but we don't wish that to anyone. But in any case, I mean, this was a great showing from Thiago. Of course, when you have these great comebacks, you always have a bittersweet taste in your mouth, Austin. No, you say, yeah, it was a great comeback, but I had the speed for the podium, for the race victory, and all experience for the next time, I would guess.
Experience, but hey, there's still 8 laps to go in this race, and anything could happen with this race. Alex Donna Pagotto could have some catastrophic incident. You're back on the podium. Bartolo Meola has some incident. You're back on the podium. And there are plenty of opportunities for him to get back there, and he is going faster than Meola. And I think his next goal is to at least catch up to Meola right now and maybe pass it for 4th. But Bartolona, he was sitting in 3rd. I don't think there's hope for him to get onto the podium unless an incident happens. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next few laps. As Alex Hopkins and Antonio Telles put on a great show right now.
Arto with his personal best, 38.0. We have to cut away because now it's Victor Badris' time to break any hesitation and go past Travis Lapinage. He goes down to P7. Gavin Petty there having to come back, but here comes the Polish driver with a comeback on the inside. That's great stuff, Austin.
Amazing move off the exit, and Premslaw up into 6th place, but here comes Barris back at him. And this corner is so tricky, especially when you're behind somebody. We saw everybody, Alessandro Dalladone and a few other drivers getting very loose on that exit. It's just, you want to put your foot down, but there's just so little grip when you're going uphill and turning. And that's actually where the sun just bakes in that heat. And I would say it's probably the hardest point on the track of this circuit. That is probably the hottest part because it's the most southern part and it doesn't have any tree cover, as Alex Dunn grinds that curb right there. And
sector 1,
Pagotto,
look at that sector 1.
Lost a ton of time.
Yeah, and it's a fastest lap of the race, 37.5. 1 second clean taken away by Dan in that lap from Pagotto, so a mistake or some traffic, and that might be the decisive moment of the race for the race victory, Austin.
It might be, but remember, during the second and fast lap, Alex Dunn did hop onto that curb. I think he's getting a little bit slightly reckless in that final corner, and if he continues, that curb might strike and might bite him in the sour way, as Victor Barris gets a good run on Premslaw up into 6th place. He goes. Drag racing heading into turn 1 now. Down the inside, he's got the advantage. But now, look at Gavin Petty. He might have something to say about this. He's looking for the switchback. Watch him on this exit. He's going to go down low and try to go for a move on Premslaw. He looked for it. Premslaw decided to go low now, trying to get into Victor's mirrors. And Premslaw's got a good run, and Gavin is kind of left in the wash right there. Nowhere for him to get a good grip. Victor Barris went wide. Here comes Premslaw down low. They're going to be side by side off the exit. This is right where he wants to be. Heading into this tight corner. Premslaw's staying right there. He's going to send it into that corner. Going to try to elbow him off, and Premslaw's got to move for 6th place. And here comes Gavin Petty round the outside of Victor Barris. Victor's got to watch his exit, as Gavin does back off, but that is allowing Gavin to just look at this toe. He's riding that gearbox. He breaks off early, deciding not to send it down the inside, as Barcelona very famous to one of the most famous dives in F1 and one of the most famous quotes in F1. Is this racing or is this ping pong? Honestly, what are we doing here? Well, here in iGPFun-F3, the driver standards say this is not ping pong. And He's playing it directly to the driver's standards right there. Gavin Petty waiting for his moment to make that move.
And a friendly reminder that you can catch the live timing of the race at the link below in the description, so you can follow in real time, especially in a series like this where we have 60 drivers. Of course, if you want to follow your favorite driver that maybe is not on the camera at the moment, link in the description and you can follow the live timing with all the information we have basically in our studio here, with the beautiful timing screen that we use. Lucas Maruk was a bit wide, still in 9th place. I saw that our driver of the day, Will McIntyre, is -1 on his starting position, so the comeback is almost over. He had great pace, also great livery, but unfortunately for him, the race has been not maybe what he was expecting for, but the pace was there. In this lap, Pagotto gained 4/10 of a second, Austin.
Yeah, Gianfranco Pagotto definitely trying to put back on his charge, get back on Alex Dunn. And remember what I said earlier, I think Alex is just getting a little bit more reckless in this track right now, and he might be taking a little bit more risk. And with 5 laps to go, just look how much he's cutting that corner. I feel like if he continues to just exploit the track, try to go after fast lap to try to pull ahead on Pagotto, there is the chance that he might make a mistake. A very rare mistake, but the possibility is there. And I think Gianfranco might know this as well, and he needs to be as close as he can to catch Alex when he makes a mistake, or if a lap car slows him up a bit in a key moment.
Okay, so with 5 laps to go, let's say 4.5 laps to go, positions still up for grabs at the front, and at the front a little bit behind the front. This fight for 6th place. We also have this fight here between Punzengruber and Bison. They are going side by side. They are just in front, just behind, sorry, with McIntyre. There we go, Zach Bison and Punzengruber with the Austrian livery car.
Oh. That is very difficult. Can he make it move around the outside and through Zachary Beeson? Wow. What Zachary Beeson did right there, that was impressive. So this battle for 26, nose to tail with each other. Phil Waller escaping Zoltan Zamotor as we ride on board James Luis. He's going down the inside. He's got a good run. And off the track, Piesnak off into traffic as well. Making the spread all out. That's going to be good for Victor Barris. He's going to be winning that fight into 6th place. As Luis, he looked down the inside. No money for him right there. So he's falling behind James Luis.
We might have lost Lucas Maruk. He was sitting in a very good position, Austin. But he's dropping fast.
Well, this is right after that spin up ahead of him. There was gravel in the air, and is it chicane? Oh no!
He got some help. That's the Rocket Turtle taking avoiding action. Who was that?
Yeah.
Dave Martin?
The 48. It was Dave Martin. Yeah, he's got a lot of speed. He was looking down the inside. He sent it right there. It's just too much of a send to really make that one work.
Bit optimistic. Maybe we can see it from Luciano's car. He can give us an even better perspective. The Rocket Turtle himself.
Yeah. Luciano is just, he's just doing his own race, and he sees that happen right in front of him. He's just really locked up the brakes, and the car went off the track. If he continued on, he would have been fine, but when you're that far back, you have to be a little bit optimistic and try to use the force of guessing where a car is going to go. And when you have that much speed getting on the 2 cars in front of you that have kind of hit that wall of speed, you feel like you're coming in much faster than you actually are. We got a car spinning and he's around. That's Perez.
Alex Dunn gave a little bit of a push to the lap car.
There's Pagotto.
And there's Pagotto.
There's that mistake. Pagotto's on the gearbox. 2/10 separate the leader, Gianfranco Pagotto, and Alex Dunn nose to tail right now at the start of lap 26. An incident. Correz got involved and well, he went around Alex Dunn. Here we go. And like I said, anything could happen around here at Barcelona, and it did. And we're back into a fight here. And you said earlier that in Sector 1, that was the deciding moment of the race. No, this is the deciding moment of the race. This is the time for Gianfranco Pagotto looking down to the end. He needs to try to make a move and make a charge on Alex Dunn. Alex Dunn hit that curb off the exit, trying to use as much of the track off the exit as he can and gain all the time back on Pagotto, but he's got 2 cars ahead of him heading into the chicane. Oh, this is deja vu I'm having.
Seems like the front wing is okay. I've been looking it for the past lap. But now more traffic, as you were saying. Maybe they can clear both of these cars on the front straight. Certainly they can clear one of them. Let's see now.
Oh, Pagotto got held up.
Yeah,
he was looking to use Millen. I believe that was, no, that's, was that Millen? Oh, that was Martin Devine. He was planning to use Devine as a little bit of a tow, but Devine just got completely off the throttle and let him by. As let's take a replay of what happened right there, and well, it's just wrong place, wrong time. Fernando, he just met Alex Dunn off the exit, and Dunn just kept his foot on the throttle and just, well, went straight through him. That might be looked at for avoidable contact.
Look at Pagotto. Completely on the runoff area there on the extra bit of tarmac, the green bit. All sorts of sideways. He is pushing as hard as he can. In the meantime, Lorenzo and Ermer. Ermer gets
side side. A flying duck making it work, trying to get back up into where he was. As we get on this battle for 6th place, Victor Barra staying ahead of Gavin Petty, and these 3 have just been with each other this entire race. You know, I think we gave Barcelona a little bit too much slack for not providing fantastic races. I think we have to take those words back. This has been a very fantastic race.
I knew that these guys were able to deliver. They never disappoint. The white flag is in the air, Austin. Alex Dunn,
cones are in the air as well.
Second. Yeah, the cones are scattered in the air.
So hopefully not into the catch fence or over the catch fence. Dunn just leading ahead of Pagotto. It's an Italian 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And the Irishman staying ahead in 1st.
It's 4 Italian cars in the first 4 spots.
Yeah, Dunn, Irishman driving a Italian car, I must say. He's got that little Italian flag on the very top of the wing, and we were making some jokes about Italian wings, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And how they were just all falling apart?
Yeah, and
yeah,
then,
it was 2 weeks ago.
For good measure, last week we got an Italian 1, 2, 3 on the podium. Today we might get... oh, God!
Ooh, that's a lot of curb.
There's a lap car in the middle of the track that just popped in front of Dan.
Oh, okay. That came out wrong for Pagotto. He was just trying to get past Dunn, and the lap car just went where he was going, and that is it right there. Alex Dunn returns to the iGPFun series and takes the win ahead of Gianfranco Pagotto, and that came down to the very last quarter. Man, what a race.
That lap car jumped right in front of Alex, Austin. I thought it was going to be tough for Alex, but in the end it was Gianfranco who paid the bigger price. And I mean, excitement until the end, and now we have this final fight to be resolved. First, the fight for 6th.
Yeah, Petty, watch for him. He's hopping over these curbs. Petty's trying to get as close as he can to Barris, but Victor Barris He was the dark horse in that group, just biding his time, and he's paid off as he takes the win of that fight. Well, actually, the biggest winner was Thiago up there in 5th. He escaped that fight to finish 5th place. Barnett and Jutsu. And Sean Barnett leading right there. We got a big amount of curbage right there ahead of Hopkins and Tellis. I'm not sure what that was about. But Alex Hopkins and Antonio Tellis separated just by a bit as they follow. We might see a move by Tellis heading into the chicane, but it's very aggressively defended by Hopkins. And here comes Tellis. And Hopkins decided to, well, use that inside line of that curbing to try to defend from a send by Antonio. And, well, he lost a lot of time right there as Antonio took it regularly. And that 4/10 gap went down all the way to a 10th.
Yeah, I was very surprised. He took the chicane all the way to the inside, basically, and that gave him a terrible exit speed, but it worked, so, you know. Alex Dunn getting congratulated by his teammate Max Bortolotto, the two Squadra Corse 3D Rap drivers. Second and fourth were the two Wave Italy cars of Gianfranco Pagotto and Francesco Meola. But as per usual, let's go to the final results, unofficial final results for this iGPFun Sunday night extravaganza live from Barcelona, and here we go. Your winner from the Republic of Ireland was Alex Dunn, in front of Gianfranco Pagotto, Max Bartolotta and Francesco Meola, and Thiago Marteau in 5th position. 6th was Victor Barris, 7th was Gavin Petty, and 8th was Premislav Pieniazek. 9th position for Dave Martin, and 10th place for Luca Varani, the boss of the series. Samuel Ermer 11th, Luciano Lorenzo, the Rocket Turtle, in 12th place in front of Michal Potoshek, Lucas Marouk, Sean Burnett, Daniel Justo, Clark Williams, and the first of our drivers of the day, Will McIntyre, in 18th. Scrolling down below, Zach Bison in 19th, Clemens Punzengruber in 20th place in front of Rod Maguire, Alex Hopkins, Antonio Tellez, Vincenzo Carchedi, James Tullis, Bartosz Grecki, Phil Waller, Zoltan Zomotor. The top 30 is rounded up by Giovanni Sellito and Adam Talsma from Canada. Martin Devine, Russell Saputo, Fernando Correas in 33rd position in front of our other driver today, Ben White, Stuart Mill, Wolfgang Loda in 36th place, Mark Matisse and Max Giacchino 37th and 38th. 39th was Andy Flint, and 40th was Johan Birgersson. 41st place for Reed Dennis, the pink cat of Antonio Rusevski. Antonio needs to go back to the old livery, because this new livery clearly has some horsepower less than what he had last season. Only 42nd place for the driver from North Macedonia. Ito-san Kojito is in 43rd place in front of Patrick Rowland, Daryl Govender, Alexander Roggenbuch, Thomas Purut, and Andrea Bracchetti in 48th position. The top 50 is rounded up by Chris Trott and Jota Gonzalez. Chuck Moro, Alessandro Redonne, Lucas Lackner and Sonny Rosario in front of Flavio Dantas and Rodrigo Capelletto, both of these two guys from Brazil. In front of the teammates Steven Rubens and Richard Vane in 57th and 58th. And last but not least, Ed Doherty and Mikey Olson, your 60 car field for tonight. Austin, what a great fun we had tonight. I said it many times, I will say it once again. If there is a series that can provide great racing even at this place, is iGPFun. Usually we would go through the end of the race, etc., and we are very close with time, but incredibly we have an interview, and so let's bring the microphone to Austin, who is standing with our very well-deserved race winner Alex Dunn. Austin?
Yeah, I'm standing by with Alex after a 1 week vacation from the series. He is back, and he takes the top spot. Probably not the way he's used to. It was a very tight race all the way down to the end. Alex, how was that battle?
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one. I think every time I started to build up a gap, I'd get caught in some traffic, which kept Pagotto in my slipstream, and I was kind of just pulling him around for the whole race. But I think it was a pretty good race, and I managed the gap pretty well for the 28 laps, and then eventually just got a gap at the end and controlled the race, and that was it from there.
Yeah, you led it from the very start, but there was a few incidents with a few lap cars out there that just allowed Gianfranco to stay with you throughout this entire race. What is your thought process when you had to navigate through some of the slower traffic out there?
I knew when I was catching the traffic that it wasn't going to be easy passing them, and then I'm not sure who it was, but he was really slow off the chicane, and there was some slight contact, but I'm very lucky that I didn't get any front wing damage. But I just tried to stay calm and be as clean as possible without getting any damage when I was overtaking them, and yeah, I got pretty lucky, I'd say. So I got lucky in some ways, but unlucky in other ways.
Well, it's a big win for you, and I'm pretty sure you and all your supporters are going to be happy about that. I'm going to leave this time for you. If you have anyone to shout out, now's the time to do it.
Shout out obviously to everyone who was supporting me on the stream, my mom and my dad and everyone else, and also everyone at 3D Rap and Lorenzo Del Rio at 3D Rap as well.
All right. Well, congrats to you, Alex. You enjoy the rest of your day. It's another win for you here in the IGP Fun series. I'm going to throw it off to Marco. He's got some closing words.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, I have to say, out of the last few months, what a pleasant surprise it has been to get to know Alex better. Of course, we don't play favorites in here, but I mean, every time we have him racing in our series, he's always at least with the top 5 pace, if not outright fighting at the end of the race for the top 5 of the podium. And after an off week last week, you were saying he was not at his best even in the official last week. Another great victory tonight, and hopefully all the controversies after the Nürburgring round are in the rearview mirror, no pun intended, for him, because I mean, absolutely fantastic. And Gianfranco Pagotto, I mean, what can? Sorry, I am never a big, Italian, Italian patriot, so to speak, like, Italia, but these Italian guys are really going from great performance to an even better performance. I mean, the top 3 last week was fantastic. Another great result. I mean, Gianfranco was toe-to-toe with Alex for the entirety of the race. Could have gotten the move done with a little bit more, luck with the traffic. But still, I mean, there is no shame in finishing second to a fantastic driver like Alex. And, Max Bartolotta, Francesco Mello were great. Thiago Marteau, new name to the series, but a fantastic top 5. He had the pace to finish on the podium, let's not forget it. He had that little bit of an off that really cost him a bunch of time. Things are really looking up, and if you remember last season, a lot of the names that were there, are not here anymore. But the gaps have been absolutely filled by these, older, like, let's say, drivers who were still here, they now taken, the extra step, the next step in their development, or these new faces who are, straight away here and fighting for top 5, top 10s. Remember, it's a 60 car field, people, so fighting for the top 10, top 15 is an incredible accomplishment, especially with cars that are this fragile and this equal. So, great stuff. Cannot wait for the next one, Austin. Now it's time to go home.
Yep, now it is. We'll see you next week at Zolder. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching the iGPFun-F3 series presented by Virtual Racing School. I've been joined by Marco Barbonera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
The Browns scored. Oh man.